If you've never done it before, door dashing at night can be quite intimidating. I remember the first time I door dashed at night, I could not find the houses for the life of me. So in this video, I have gone to Facebook and I have gathered some of the most experienced dashers I could find to get their advice on things you can do to improve nighttime dashing. Let's get into it. The tips that will be shared in this video come from a thread started that says, anyone have any tips for dashing at night? I hate to walk around looking like a weirdo trying to find a customer's house. I usually dash during the day. I think that's probably true for a lot of us. For me, I started dashing in the summertime, and so I could dash fairly late into the evening and not deal with nighttime dashing. However, if you want to dash in the wintertime, you're pretty much, if you're dashing at dinner, you're going to be dashing in the dark. So here's some tips. Here are some things that people have said that they do, which help a lot. The first person here said, I carry a flashlight or use the flashlight on my phone. I also ask the customer things like, are you on the right or the left of the building, or such things. Okay, carrying a flashlight is a game changer. The first time I dashed in the dark, I didn't have a flashlight. I didn't think to use the flashlight on my phone. But I then went and got a flashlight so that I could see better. And to be completely honest, the way that I use the flashlight when I am door dashing in the dark is twofold. First thing I do is as I'm driving down the street, once I get close to the house, I'll actually use the flashlight and shine it on the numbers. A lot of people don't turn their lights on at night, and so I'll shine my flashlight on the houses to find the numbers. That may be a little bit of a controversial move because it looks a little creepy, but it has worked for me really well. And then as I'm walking up to the doorstep, I can use the flashlight to make sure I don't trip over anything, make sure there's no dogs or any other things that are going to harm me on my way up to my house. Flashlight is a must. The next person says, use your Maps app on your phone to pinpoint the location of the address you're going to be going to. This helps a lot when the house numbers are small or not on the mailboxes. Also, pull up into their driveway so you have extra light to see where you're walking. All right, so kind of two tips here. We talked about the light one, so let's talk about the Maps one. I think that this can be a really good idea. Of course, you're going to have your maps up as you're driving, and so a lot of people recommend using your maps to pinpoint the house exactly, kind of using a satellite mode so you can see what the house looks like. You can maybe see, oh, it's the fourth house from the corner. You can count the houses from the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's harder if people are in apartments, but if you're just door dashing to a normal house, this one can be a really good tip, using that satellite mode on your phone to see the map on what the house actually looks like. The next one is send the customer memes. Now, bear with me. This one is actually something I've not done before, but I think it's a great idea. This person says you can always make your own memes. I've gotten my memes off the internet, or you can use an app to get a free photo editor and create memes yourself. So the memes that they're talking about are memes for telling people to turn their porch lights on. This is one that really goes well with the flashlight idea, but if you don't have a flashlight, or you really just want it to be easier, just shoot in their little chat message with the customer while you're waiting for their food. Say, hey, turn your lights on. Here are some examples of those memes. They're kind of fun, and you can just save them on your phone so they're easy to get to. I will say, as always, be careful what you're sending in your camera app. People have sent pictures they did not mean to send to customers, and while it can be funny to read online, it's not something you want to do in real life. Another map-related tip is when you're using the satellite mode, if you zoom in really close to the house you're looking for, it will oftentimes show the address above the house on satellite view. And so making sure that the house you're actually delivering to has the correct address matching on satellite view is going to be a big help as well. Another person says, wear reflective clothing. This one's a little bit funny, but as far as safety goes, I think it's an important thing to address. Safety while dashing at night is probably something that you want to take into consideration, and wearing reflective clothes is important, especially if you're going to be parking on the side of busy roads or in places where you could potentially go unseen if you were not wearing reflective clothing. So while it may seem a little bit silly to throw on a reflective vest, it's a good way to let people know that you mean business and that you don't want to get hit by a car. And on the thread of safety, a lot of people say that they have some sort of protection while they are dashing. Whether that is something that goes like this, or like a can of pepper spray, or a friend to dash with. It's probably important to have something along those lines, safety related tools, we'll call them, so that if you do run into anyone with ill intent, that you can take care of them, or at least take care of yourself. I'm not encouraging violence here. My final tip here that I didn't find on the thread, but one that I just find really helpful, is dash in areas that you know. Sometimes during the night, if you're dashing at night, you'll be pulled to areas that you're not familiar with, just because sometimes the busy areas change at night. And so make sure you're dashing in areas you're familiar with. You're going to have to at some point dash in an area you're not familiar with in order to get familiar with it. But once you're familiar with it, stay within that kind of familiarity zone. A lot of people kind of order repeat, and so you can end up at the same houses or in the same neighborhoods or the same apartment complexes. This will not only help you find the actual correct houses, but it's going to also help you from a safety standpoint, so that you know where the streetlights are, where busy areas are, where quiet, maybe potentially more dangerous areas could be. Overall, you want to get the customer their food fast, and you want to be safe. I hope these tips have been helpful. If you found them to be helpful, give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.